Japan year 20XX at the prestigious T University, where even the pencils have a PhD. Professor Kanji Yakutani is burning the midnight oil, probably because the electricity bill is too high during the day. His assistant, Matsumoto, interrupts him to announce the arrival of a pharmaceutical company representative. Ah yes, the glamour of academia, where the real action is discussing joint research with people who sell pills. The rep showers praise on Kanji, commending his top-class research that would save countless lives. Little did they know that Kanji's real superpower was surviving on a diet of calorie-made and energy jelly, the true elixir of academia. Fast forward to Kanji's tragic demise due to overwork. You'd think he was training for the Overachievers Olympics. I guess the only joint research he accomplished was with the Grim Reaper. As he collapses, I can almost hear the anime narrator saying, "And here, our hero finds himself in the afterlife," or, as they call it, the Isekai Express. Now, Kanji wakes up in a fancy room with a maid named Charlotte. Lightning strike? Really? If I had a yen for every time a protagonist got hit by lightning and woke up in a new world, I could fund my own anime series. Charlotte reveals he's now Pharma de Medicis, the youngest son of the Medicis family. And just like that, Kanji becomes a noble, probably with a fancier title than professor. Oh, and Pharma's family has divine arts. Move over, Naruto, and your chakra nonsense. We've got the Medicis family, whipping up compounds like a Hogwarts mixology class. Charlotte warns Pharma that if he doesn't master these arts, he might be ousted from his estate. Ah, the classic noble's dilemma. Either learn magic or face eviction. Pharma starts experimenting with his newfound powers, creating elements and compounds faster than a chemist on caffeine. He's like an alchemist version of a kid in a candy store, only with test tubes instead of lollipops. And then let's not forget Pharma's Divine Eye, the latest in the Quirks I Didn't Ask For collection. No shadow, no problem, right? But when Pharma accidentally activates his Divine Eye, poor Eleanor, his tutor, freaks out and runs away screaming. I bet even the ghosts in the afterlife are laughing at Pharma's divine mishaps. In the world of anime, where heroes usually have tragic pasts and grand destinies, here comes Pharma, struck by lightning, bestowed with divine arts, and scaring off tutors faster than One Punch Man defeats villains. Move aside, Naruto. There's a new overpowered hero in town, and he's got a divine eye and a penchant for accidental chaos. We have Pharma hearing from his noble daddy, Bruno de Medicis, that Eleanor Bonnefoy is down with a cold. Daddy Bruno, being the concerned father figure he is, wonders if something fishy happened. But does Pharma spill the beans about his watery spear and disappearing shadow antics? Of course not. Pharma's got more secrets than a ninja convention. Daddy Bruno hands Pharma a letter for a potion for Eleanor, but our alchemist hero, being the overachiever he is, notices the potion is nothing more than a glorified nutrient drink. Pharma, being the humanitarian he is, decides to whip up some acetaminophen and slave for Eleanor, because medieval Advil just won't cut it. Arriving at Eleanor's fortress, Pharma is greeted by the sight of her in full armor. Paranoid much? Eleanor suspects Pharma is there to off her for knowing his divine secret. But Pharma, the non-violent alchemist, just wants to deliver some medicine and continue his divine art lessons. Eleanor, fearing poison, prays for mercy. But Pharma has a different bargain in mind, divine arts lessons in exchange for her silence. Pharma, being the romantic he is, throws a bouquet of cerulean flowers along with the medicine. It's like a medieval apology mixed with a dash of "please don't rat me out." After some emotional turmoil, Eleanor reluctantly agrees and takes the medicine. Score 1 for Pharma and his unintentional charm. Eleanor returns to the estate, still rocking that armor. Safety first, right? She thanks Pharma for the medicine and takes him to a deserted island for more divine arts training. Because nothing says magical education like a private island with hurdles to jump over. Now Pharma decides to play doctor with the Manor staff. Armed with his divine eye, he diagnoses them like a magical house MD. His goal? Make himself indispensable, like a medieval Dr. Oz with divine powers. First on the treatment list is Charlotte Soller's hands. Pharma, discovering his ability to create liquids and viscous substances, whips up a heparoid cream and a small steroid. Charlotte is overjoyed, and suddenly Pharma's the staff's favorite accidental wizard. But wait, there's more. Pharma, the noble with a heart of gold, is appalled by the fact that only nobles get proper medical treatment. Charlotte wishes him luck in his quest to bring healthcare equity to the fantasy realm. Move over, Florence Nightingale. Pharma's in town. Now enter Blanche, Pharma's little sister, who catches chickenpox. Bruno drops some knowledge bombs about Pharma's previous chickenpox encounter. Pharma, showing off his newfound pharmacological skills, whips up some aceclivir in a macaroon, because nothing says get well soon like a magical French pastry. Blanche, being blissfully unaware of modern medicine, thinks Pharma's a miracle worker. Pharma stays by her side, feeding her apples, and is suddenly hit with a wave of emotions. Cue the waterworks as he's reminded of Chiyu Yakutani, his younger sister from his previous life. Pharma, the accidental softie, sheds a tear or two. A few days later, Blanche makes a miraculous recovery, thanks to Pharma's magical medicine. Bruno, being the inquisitive dad, wonders about the sudden recovery. But fear not, Blanche keeps Pharma's secret like a loyal sibling. Pharma, being the perpetual scholar, starts working on a handheld microscope, contemplating the depths of his abilities and wondering if there's a catch to his newfound knowledge. And just when you thought Pharma's life couldn't get any more complicated, enter Simon, summoning him to meet Daddy Bruno's royal appointment with the Queen, because in the world of Pharma de Medicis, even family dinners come with a side of royal intrigue. In this gripping episode, our alchemical hero finds himself in a royal conundrum at the grandeur of the royal palace. Accompanying his father, Bruno, Pharma witnesses the Queen's deteriorating condition. Bruno, with a suspicious cough that even a medieval doctor would side-eye, leads them to Claude de Chauliac, the head physician, and the ailing Queen Elizabeth. Pharma, being the astute observer that he is, notes Bruno's peculiar tests that seem to involve staring at the stars. Despite Bruno's assurances, Pharma, in a moment of divine insight, suspects that they're treating the situation more like a euthanasia ritual than a medical intervention. The Queen's got tuberculosis, or as Pharma elegantly puts it, the White Death. And here we were thinking the Black Plague was bad. The real drama unfolds when Louis, the Queen's son, and his retainer Noah burst into the scene. Cue the waterworks and emotional turmoil. Pharma, with a heart bigger than his laboratory, steps up, claiming to have a new medicine for the White Death. Everyone protests, but desperate times call for desperate measures. In a move that would make even the most seasoned medical practitioners cringe, Pharma decides to use his divine eye to diagnose the Queen's condition. Surprise, surprise, it's tuberculosis. Now, does he step in and play the hero? Of course he does, but not before facing opposition from Bruno, who barges in, demanding Pharma cease his magical medical nonsense. Pharma, now the reluctant protagonist in a family feud, tries to create a 4-drug cocktail in his impromptu laboratory, but Bruno, showing off his own divine arts, demands answers. Pharma, being the multitasking genius, fends off his father's attacks, creating a barrier of ice, and still manages to draw the molecular structure of rifampin, all in a day's work. The tension rises as Bruno, in a dramatic turn, acknowledges his son's brilliance. Pharma spills the beans about the magical dream book, the holy mark of Panactios, and the divine blessing bestowed upon him. Bruno, being the wise father, asks Pharma to deliver the medicine himself and bear the consequences. Father-son bonding medieval style. Back in the Queen's chamber, Pharma, now wearing a mask like a medieval superhero, brings out the microscope he whipped up and shows the Queen the bacteria causing her White Death. Claude and the other physicians are flabbergasted, probably wishing they paid more attention in alchemy class. Pharma, in a triumphant proclamation, declares the White Death no longer incurable, as he offers the Queen a drug cocktail. He drinks one himself, a true alchemist with a taste for his own concoctions. The noble pharmaceutists are left questioning Pharma's audacity and brilliance. As father and son return to the mansion, Bruno reflects on his failure to understand his son's heart. Pharma, the ever-compassionate alchemist, hands Bruno his own medicine, symbolizing a newfound understanding between them. The family, blissfully unaware of the medical theatrics, welcomes them back. Our alchemical hero and his wise father Bruno embark on a journey of knowledge exchange during the first 3 months of Queen Elizabeth's treatment. Pharma and Bruno exchange information faster than a Pokemon battle. Bruno casually mentions turning away a noble looking for a White Death cure, probably thinking, why give the cure to someone who's probably going to auction it off at a fantasy black market? Pharma, ever the altruistic wizard, believes in sharing knowledge, a concept as foreign to him as common sense in a Naruto filler episode. As they discuss the White Death, Pharma casually mentions that someone might have brought it into the castle. Bruno's mind is probably racing with the thoughts of castle janitors moonlighting as plague carriers, and Pharma, in his infinite wisdom, calculates the transfer rate, proving he's not just a pharmacist, but a mathematical genius. Move over, One Punch Man. We've got One Think Man on the scene. But before Pharma can play doctor to the queen, he is intercepted by Noah, the royal gossip monger, who's probably more interested in the royal tea than the royal cure. Pharma, clueless as ever, finally decides he wants to open a pharmacy for the rich and poor alike. It's like he's auditioning for My Hero Academia, where everyone has a noble cause except Pharma, who just wants to be the one potion man. In a meeting with the queen, Pharma channels his inner motivational speaker, assuring her that she'll treat her second life better, just like he did. Forget Tony Robbins, we've got Pharma Robbins in the house. Fast forward 3 more months, and we have a ceremony for Pharma and Bruno. Elizabeth II, fully healed and ready to rule, promotes Pharma from apprentice to official royal pharmacist. It's like a fantasy graduation, and Pharma's probably thinking, finally, I can put official royal pharmacist on my magical LinkedIn profile. Now comes the construction phase, and Pharma's pharmacy is being built faster than Goku can charge a spirit bomb. Eleanor and Charlotte join in, and it's a regular fantasy fixer-upper with a touch of medieval HGTV. When asked what he'll call the pharmacy, Pharma accidentally mutters, Parallel World Pharmacy. It's like he's trying to summon an Isekai plot twist, but in reality, he's just terrible at naming things. Move over, Attack on Titan. We've got Attack on Shop names, with Pharma in the lead. Enter Veron, chairman of the local pharmacist guild, who tries to bring down Pharma's reputation. But Pharma, the king of obliviousness, shrugged it off, probably thinking, I've faced tougher enemies in my sleep. When Eleanor steps in, it's like watching Sailor Moon deflect a weak villain's attack. Effective, but we expected more drama. Pharma, in a stroke of genius, hires Eleanor and Charlotte to work for him. But wait, there's a dilemma. Who's going to handle bookkeeping? Pharma's mind is as blank as a filler episode of Bleach. Enter Cedric Leno, who's retiring with bad knees. Pharma offers to heal his legs in exchange for bookkeeping. It's like a negotiation straight out of a fantasy sitcom, where the punchline is a cure for bad knees. As Pharma opens his pharmacy, Bruno, the unsung hero in the background, gives him a pile of money. It's like a fantasy episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but instead of lifelines, Pharma's got potions and divine eyes. As he delivers a long speech at the grand opening, attended by nobles and commoners alike, no one can help but wonder if Pharma's pharmacy is the cure the world needed or just another magical mishap waiting to happen. Move over, Death Note. We've got Prescription Note in the making. A month after Parallel World Pharmacy opens, Pharma's customer base is about as stable as a Jenga tower during an earthquake. Eleanor, the voice of reason in this fantastical sitcom, isn't surprised. Loyalty, after all, is a rare commodity, unlike filler episodes in Naruto. Charlotte conducts a survey discovering that people are either afraid, distrusting, or simply illiterate. It's like trying to sell ramen in a world where everyone is allergic to noodles. The only regular customer, John, walks in looking for water and a sailor's candies, because nothing says magical elixir like candy that contains vitamin C. Pharma's parents, in their disguise that's probably as effective as Clark Kent's glasses, check out the shop and ask about the traffic. Pharma explains the situation, and Beatrice, with her infinite wisdom, suggests selling cosmetics. Because clearly, in a world of potions and spells, what people really need is a magical makeover. Bruno, the ever-concerned parent, warns against selling white face powder, displaying a level of knowledge that even Saitama would find impressive. A retainer comes in asking for Pharma, as his master has collapsed in a carriage. It's like a scene from a medical drama, but instead of a scalpel, Pharma's armed with magical syrups and warnings against white face powder. The noblewoman, Chloe de Chatillon, spills her love-stricken heart, hoping to make her skin paler to win over her crush. Pharma, in his role as the magical Dr. Phil, gives her medicine and warns against the toxic allure of white face powder. Pharma tests a prototype of Chloe's cream, leaving the staff stunned. It's like witnessing the birth of a magical unicorn. Eleanor, always the voice of reason, suggests Pharma talk to the queen about it, because why not bring royalty into the world of magical cosmetics? Pharma agrees, probably thinking he's about to pitch the next big anime crossover. The makeup becomes a town sensation, and Pharma, in his moment of triumph, brings up a new issue. Supply can't keep up with the demand. Chloe, the business mogul in the making, suggests opening an independent subsidiary store. It's like watching a magical episode of Shark Tank, but with fewer sharks and more face powder. Medique Cosmetics opens, and Pharma is amazed. Chloe introduces the staff. a group of older women pharmaceutists. Forget one piece, we've got one makeup piece, with Pharma as the pirate captain of beauty. Charlotte, the master of surveys, goes over the next one, probably wondering if she should include questions like, would you trade your magical powers for flawless complexion? Pharma visits Queen Elizabeth, and suddenly, the magical realm has turned into a beauty parlor. Elizabeth, eager to hear about future cosmetics, tests a medicated lip gloss. It's like a scene from a magical reality show. Move over RuPaul's Drag Race, we've got Pharma's Drag Race taking over the kingdom. Elizabeth makes edicts about banning mercury and lead compounds in white face powder, but also drops a bombshell about Pharma needing to share his methods. It's like a magical version of Monopoly. Pharma, the cosmetic tycoon, agrees, probably thinking he's about to become the Warren Buffett of the fantasy world. Elizabeth suggests raising prices, and Pharma, ever the reluctant businessman, agrees once again. As the De Medicis family enjoys their summer vacation in Marseillais, Bruno is busy listening to trade reports, probably thinking, who needs sunscreen when you have economic data? Meanwhile, Pharma, the reluctant beach enthusiast, is finally allowed to join the seaside festivities. Charlotte and Blanchet, already on the beach and eager to swim, convince Pharma to join them. It's like watching the Free Boys drag the reluctant friend into the pool, only this time with divine powers at play. Pharma, hesitant about swimming, finally gives in to the cute pair, suggesting they dip their feet in. Eleanor, the knight in shining armor, also decides to go swimming, and Pharma, in a moment of reflection, thinks about his old life and his sister's missed chances to swim. However, the beach day takes a dramatic turn when Blanchet gets swept into the sea by a giant wave. Pharma, with his divine lifeguard instincts kicking in, rushes into the water, and Eleanor follows suit. Blanchet is pulled underwater, triggering Pharma's traumatic memories of being unable to save his sister. In a burst of divine power, he eliminates a chunk of the sea, leaving Eleanor and Charlotte stunned. Blanchet is brought ashore, safe and sound, but not without a good cry. Eleanor, as surprised as a side character getting a power-up episode, commends Pharma for doing more than she ever thought possible. Pharma, just relieved that his sister is safe, probably wishes he had a beach episode without divine drama. As Pharma reflects on his aquatic heroics, Charlotte enters his room, amazed at Pharma's abilities. Pharma, in his typical oblivious fashion, appreciates Charlotte as part of his family and leaves her in tears. Move over, your lion April. We've got your dive into divine drama in the making. On a rainy night, Solomon hears about Pharma's feats and is eager to eliminate this divine heretic. It's like a villainous monologue straight out of Naruto, but instead of ninjutsu, we've got divine waterworks. When the pharmacy reopens, it's bustling, and Pharma, the ever-helpful pharmacist, tries to assist the two white-robed gentlemen, who promptly leave. Eleanor, the voice of reason, notes that they were temple priests, probably on a mission to spread the gospel of divine water ballets. Charlotte and Pharma, in a moment of strategic brilliance, decide to tell the guards about them. The next morning, a blindfolded horse carrying sediment crashes into the pharmacy, leading Bruno to declare an act of war. Pharma, in his wise moments, suspects either the temple guards or the Pharmacists Guild, but decides not to make rash actions. It's like a medieval episode of CSI, but instead of forensics, they've got divine intuition. Cedric joins Pharma in front of the pharmacy, where people are already hard at work. Cedric, the unsung hero, tells Pharma that no one was hurt and purifies the sediment inside the store floor. It's like watching a magical janitorial service at its finest. Jean, the community's helpful soul, comes in with more people to lend a hand, along with folks from the community. Pharma, grateful for the support, is probably thinking, who needs divine powers when you have a supportive community? But the drama doesn't end there. A woman seeking Pharma's help, and in a classic anime trope, they ride into the countryside on horseback. However, before Pharma can say, is this a filler episode? The woman disappears, leaving Pharma surrounded by the church's inquisition led by Solomon. It's like a divine cliffhanger. Will Pharma's next power move be divine diplomacy or divine destruction? Tune in to the next episode.